I get to have a binder and look at it. When you're sick or ill, when you're sick or ill, you may not feel good about yourself. You may feel like no one is there for you, and the whole world is crashing down around you. But when friends come around, they can make you feel so much better. They can turn any mood into a great mood. That's exactly what Mariana's friends do in my speech. Find out what happens in The Bald and the Beautiful by J.J. Jonas. It might have looked better with hair, but still, not bad. Not bad at all. Good bone structure. Yes, very good bone structure. Even here, good bone structure. You might think me vain, but I honestly think I'm pretty. Yes, even without the hair. Absolutely stunning. Have you ever seen such a winning smile? It wasn't always there, you know. I think my smile is more beautiful today than before I got sick. I think it's because it's more real. It took a long time to learn how to smile this way. A long time. But maybe it was worth it. I did have some help, you know. You will not believe the friends I have. The best. When I was first diagnosed with leukemia, I thought it was the end of the world. Well, that's not quite true. At first, I just didn't believe it. Denial, my doctor called it. Then I went through the tragic heroin phase, I think. Romanticized it. But it's rather difficult to feel romantic and beautiful when there's vomit dripping from your lip. I'm sorry, it's just true. There's not much romantic about chemotherapy treatments, hospital visits, needles, and a churning stomach. It's not even a pleasant experience. What a joke. We're given the terms like, oh, this might cause a bit of discomfort, or you might experience some slight queasiness, when the truth is, you're wrenching your guts out, your insides are on fire, and you've never felt closer to hell. It's not discomfort. That's the word they use so you don't get freaked out before you go in. It's like saying, now, Miss Mariana, I'm going to hit you with a sledgehammer numerous times. You might experience some slight discomfort. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh on the medical profession, but, you know, I'd rather known straight up what to expect. I would have been more prepared and felt less betrayed. You go through the typical emotions, only they're not typical to you. Only to those who've seen them in 1,000 patients before, right? And you start to hate their cheery dispositions and promoting positive attitudes, and you start to snarl a bit, baring your teeth at every nurse, every medical technician, and every intern who sees you as a statistical learning experience, no matter how well-meaning they are. Well, Miss Mariana, how are we feeling today? I don't know about this, business nurse happy pants. I am feeling terrible. I'm puking my guts out, and there's no hair left on my head. Too bad Miss Junior Pageant can't see me now, huh? Your color's looking good. I look green. Puke green. How about a nice breakfast with some scrambled eggs and Jell-O? No thanks. My last breakfast was just mopped up off the floor by a patient custodian with no sense of smell. I'm sorry. And then there's the know-it-alls. Nowadays, optimal cover not only depends on your physical strength, but your mental capacity as well. You must maintain a positive attitude. Yes, Dr. Scrubs with a bleach white jacket, but I'd feel a little more positive if I could worry more about the peroxide in my hair. But since much of that is gone, let's see, we got around 200 cc of XXX and blah blah. Has the patient had such and so test done today? Blah blah blah. The patient. My name is Mariana. I do have a name. Maybe it wasn't really that bad. It just seemed that bad. Really? The people here care. It's just, you feel so helpless. Nothing is any longer in your control. and the illness, it steals so much from you. Not just the way you look, but the confidence and the ability to bounce back automatically. It steals your faith. It steals you. I remember a priest came and talked to me about the will of God and how I was his servant and how I should be happy that he's using me as his instrument. I thought that was pretty shallow. What kind of heavenly father goes around using his children as his mere instruments? I don't think God made me sick. I just got sick, that's all. Imagine trying to second guess life or God or anything. Like we even have the brains for that. Heck, we can't even cure cancer yet. What makes anyone think they have the scoop on God? People can be awfully assuming at times, you know. When I started going through the chemo treatments, it was hard enough. But it was really hard to face everyone in school with my appearance changing so rapidly. I lost weight, my hair fell out. Let me just put it this way. I didn't look any too good, if you know what I mean. I guess you could say I got a little wimpy for a while. That's what my friends say anyway. But they understood. They just wouldn't accept it though when I said I couldn't go back to school. It's not that anyone was cruel to me. They just felt sorry for me. And I couldn't stand the constant looks of pity and being treated like every day was my last. I tried to explain that leukemia research has really advanced in the past few years, and treatment is usually very successful. But you get a bald-headed beauty queen going around and saying things, and people just kind of nod their heads and look sympathetic. I wanted to scream. Even the teachers were treating me like I was about to break. They gave me extra time for all my assignments, even when I didn't need it. Well, all but one, Miss Jensen. She gave me extra work. Mariana, if you're sitting around in waiting rooms, you'll just have more time to listen to books on tape. Here's 6. You can listen to them all in a week with the time you're laid out on the table. You're not doing anything else. Might as well be listening to some great literature. I'll have to admit, even in her estimation, and as independent as I wanted to be, her expectations were pretty high. Then, one day, after a particularly rough chemo session, I didn't go back to school the next day, or the next. My family was sympathetic. A week passed and Miss Jensen showed up at my house. My mother brought her into the living room where I was watching some videos. Mariana, if you're well enough to watch this stuff, you're well enough to be listening to tapes, and a visual stimulation of which you are in need, I will bring you my DVD collection of Broadway musicals. But you're not going to be sitting here and not be learning. I just forbid that. You could at least be coming to a half a day. You what? You forbid it? What is your problem? This is not your life. This is my life. You aren't the one with leukemia, puking your guts out and having your hair fall out. You can come talk to me when you can understand how I really feel. I'm not going back to school and no one is going to tell me what to do. Get over yourself, lady, and back off. I wanted to slap my hand over my face and stop the words from coming out. But it was too late. Miss Jensen nodded her head, turned around, and walked out. I didn't sleep very well that night. I felt bad for what I had said to Miss Jensen. 3 days passed and suddenly no one was calling. Even my 2 best friends. They were the ever-popular redheaded twins, Holly and Heather. In our high school years, we had been considered inseparable. I suppose they had all gone on with their lives and forgotten all about me. And I considered it just as well. Then, the doorbell rang. I was sitting in the living room and watching TV, and my mom came into the room. Mariana, I think you'd better come see this. Mom, I don't want to see anything or anyone. Just please leave me alone. No, Mariana, you need to come to the door. Something in the way she said it made me sit up and stand, taking one step at a time, toward the moment I would never forget. I walked toward the open door, and there, in my front yard, were dozens of my classmates, standing there. On the front porch were my 2 best friends and my teacher. They had scarves on their heads, and slowly they removed them. Under the scarves were freshly shaved scalps. They were entirely bald. Holly and Heather, their to die for curly red hair, gone. Miss Jensen's chestnut knots she usually wore atop her head, gone. Miss Jensen stepped forward and took my hand. You were right. We can't judge how you feel. We had no right to do so. We want you to come back to school because we miss you, Mariana. We can't feel what you're feeling, but we don't want you to be alone. I started to cry. There they were, bald as eagles, on my front porch, of their own free choice, so I wouldn't be alone. I told you I had the best of friends. You know, I know, that beyond the shadow of a doubt, appearances aren't everything. I've always known that, even when I wore a crown on my head. I've always known that inner beauty is more important than outer beauty. But you know what? Even when you know you're truly beautiful and more than brave, it means the most to know that you're loved. And sometimes that makes you feel the most beautiful of all. Thank you.